Good morning and welcome back to Talk About It Tuesdays with CUNY Athletics, sponsored by Hospital for Special Surgery and Health First. My name is Ryan Martin. I am the Inclusive Sports Coordinator for the City University of New York Athletic Conference and your host for this webinar series. Today, as we continue to offer various supports for our student athletes as they return back to campus, we have a great one for you. We are going to take a look at different campus supports that are available for students. And a lot of this is going to be campus specific, but we're going to try to provide you some resources that are also universal as well. Today, I have a great group of panelists with us. First of all, I have Ian James from the CUNY Office of Student Affairs. Second, I have Karina Jorge, the Assistant Athletic Director for Compliance/Senior Women's Administration at CCNY, and then Kelly Peliquin, the Associate Director of Athletics at BCC. So panelists, Karina, Kelly, Ian, thank you for joining us. We're glad to have you as we continue to provide various supports for our student athletes.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Welcome, everyone. So we're going to get started. Okay, so your start to success really starts here at your new student orientation. And for those who are second-year athletes, making sure that those questions that you have, you're connecting with your administration and our campus resources. So for your new student orientation, you want to make sure that your student email and your CUNY First are properly set up beforehand so that you can log in. You're going to kind of get an overview of your campus resources highlighting financial aid, how you're paying for college, student life, and engagement opportunities, understanding your campus standards, and gaining insight on campus technology. Also, it's going to touch on all your tips and strategies on becoming an effective student and an overview of all the departments. Next, we want to make sure that because we're doing distance learning right now, that you are set up properly with your laptop or tablet device, as well as technology while you're working from home. So for your laptop request, you can either go to campus to pick this up or have it mailed to you. You want to make sure that you fill out and you submit your request form. Immediately following that, you're going to receive an email with the agreement. Make sure you respond to that email to confirm that you've read the agreement, and then you'll receive an email following that on confirming your time and date for pickup or confirmation that your device has been shipped to you. If you're picking it up on campus, please make sure you bring your student ID. For technology, as we're working remote and you run into any issues, or if you have any questions, make sure that you reach out to your campus technology center. Also, the CUNY Virtual Lab provides access to software packages. We provided this link in the PowerPoint. There's additional software packages as well as different platforms available in the second link posted. So make sure you navigate through that. And if you have any questions, again, reach out to the Technology Center directly. If you still are not able to reach them, make sure you contact your athletic department, so we can provide that information to the Technology Center directly as well. So for library access, virtual library access, you want to use the library ID barcode, which can be found on the back of your campus ID card. That way you're able to log into the library website. And then you can also set up virtual library instruction sessions. Your campus library will have an email as well to answer questions. And then over the next couple weeks, look out for the broadcasts, look out for the communication as a student if there are modified library hours for the fall semester on your campus. So online tutoring opportunities. This may look a little different at each campus, but it is important to take advantage of these resources while we are remote. Making sure that for those students that are typically, as if you're coming off of the spring semester and you are getting tutoring on campus, you want to make sure that you're reaching for those same resources and taking advantage of them while we're remote. So at BCC, we are utilizing our tutoring center through Starfish. So you're going to access the Starfish gateway, log in with your campus username and password, and then you'll schedule an appointment from the menu, select the course, select tutoring services, the date, and click confirm. Once you've scheduled the appointment, you will receive the link and meeting ID for your tutoring session via your campus email address. Any additional questions, you would call or email the Learning Commons. So some additional resources and services, which have always been an incredible part of CUNY, but right now more than ever, there are additional resources being provided due to the pandemic. So making sure that you check in with your campus resource center. For BCC, we previously had a campus resource center known as Single Stop. Now it's known as ARC, Access Resource Center. And these centers are going to provide resources to our students such as the food pantry, the Petrie Student Emergency Grant Fund, a benefits screening, so what public benefits you qualify for, and also some guidance on what are the best options for you. They also provide legal aid, financial counseling. You can get your taxes done as well. And throughout the school year, there are multiple clothing drives and professional attire drives where you can come in and get equipped for your interviews. And these services are even more important now that we are doing distance learning and remote. So check in with your campus on hours specifically where you can go and pick these items up, or if you can work on them virtually. Now I'm going to hand it off to Karina to discuss personal counseling.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Can you guys hear me fine? Kelly, yes?
Yes.
I'm just going to go over a few resources. Again, as Kelly mentioned, these may look different on each campus, but for the most part, it's an overall overview of them. One important, I guess, resource is the Office of Personal Counseling, Wellness and Counseling, as it is known at CCNY. And some of the benefits, as you see on the screen here, are, they can help you with stress relief, releasing anxiety, trauma resolution, building better relationships, as you're going to need those, to build those relationships with your professors and your classmates. And these are just some of the benefits that you can speak to someone on campus about. But we just want you to know that you don't have to go through it alone. You have people available to speak with. Some of the services that the Office of Personal Counseling offer on each campus are one-on-one sessions, support groups, workshops. They also, if they don't have a service on campus, they will refer you. They have referrals to be in the external community of your campus and even where you reside. So those are just some of the benefits by visiting the the wellness and counseling or personal counseling offices on each of our campuses. Kelly? Next slide. Kelly mentioned at the start of this, if you're a new student, especially to set up your email accounts and to ensure that you have access to, CUNY first. So campus broadcasts to stay connected is a very important thing that you have to have access to. And all those campus broadcasts usually go through your campus emails. So ensure that you have access to your emails, whether it's, you forwarding it, if you have the ability on your campus to do that, to an email that you check most often, or scheduling it. So if you want to check your emails every Monday and Thursday is a good suggestion. But just ensure that you have access to those, and especially that we're doing remote learning, your professors will contact you via those systems. So ensure that you have access to your campus emails. A big, I guess, a new item on this for me, it was social media, especially with remote learning. A lot of different divisions, academic areas, offices on campus have been a lot more active on social media accounts. And just find a way to follow them, whether it be Twitter, Instagram. They're posting a lot more updates on there about their hours of operation, their events, their services. So just ensure that you log in. If you're a social science major, follow, the Division of Social Science page. I know at CCNY, a lot of our divisions have Instagram pages now. So just ensure that you find those areas of interest for you and follow them. They'll provide contact information on there as well. And a lot of our student clubs and orgs have pages. So if that's an interest for you, I suggest that you also start following Student Life and those clubs and orgs on campus. I also encourage that you follow the athletic accounts, as you're all student athletes, so that you stay up to date with those, that information regarding our conference, as well as the NCAA. Any updates, changes, or anything pertaining to your eligibility or future seasons will come up on our athletic websites and athletic accounts. The campus website is a big, good resource. Each of our schools have, for the most part, prominently in the front page, coronavirus COVID update pages on each of our sites. So just ensure that you take a look at it, all the presidential memos, updates from CUNY, from the different areas, IT, enrollment management, which includes admissions, registrar, financial aid. They usually post updates on these pages. So just ensure that you take a look at them. You log into your school website and take a look at them often. Next page, Kelly. So one note on the previous slide, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, is another feature that CUNY offers is the CUNY alert system. So just find information on the campus websites where you can log in or register for CUNY alert. These alerts come via email, text message, or phone call, and they usually include items of emergency. So if your campus was closed, you'll get a notification, and then you'll get a notification when it reopens, and things of that nature. So ensure that you have access to the CUNY alert system as well. Sorry, Kelly, thank you. The next thing is disability or accessibility services. On each of our campuses, this may look different, but I'm sure that they all require you to register prior to engaging those services. So just contact that area so that you can gain access to their registration enrollment systems. They usually schedule appointments with the students for initial interviews, and they offer services that range from career services to tutoring, assistive technology training if you need extra time for testing, if you need a different testing date. But all those services are available to you once you register for their office. And again, on our website, on each of our campus websites, you will find this information to register for accessibility services. You will also find their email. You can call them directly, and they'll direct you to where you can schedule the appointments. I know at CCNY, and as Kelly posted on this site here, BCC is using Microsoft Teams to schedule these services. CCNY is requiring that you do an email to contact first, and they'll let you know what the process is for scheduling these services. A note just on academic appeals. Again, these processes are subject to your campus, but for the most part, due to remote and distance learning, all of these processes are online. So if you're in need of appealing a grade, any disciplinary action appeals or retroactive withdrawals that usually go through the Academic Standards Office, are all happening online. But again, the first step is to contact your department. I would suggest that you go through your advisor first and find out if there is a need for you to go through the process, and then they'll guide you to the online process created on your campus. I'll pass it on to Kelly, and she'll share with us some of the things that BCC is doing.
Awesome, thanks, Karina. So a little bit of what we're doing at Bronx Community College. Last year we had Jessica Tobar, CUNY Cap, join us. And hopefully we have her again this year. She has been phenomenal in helping support our athletes in an extra layer of advising specifically to, academic and athletics for compliance. So she really does serve as our academic athletic advisor and has been available on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right now, throughout the spring and the summer, and hopefully in the fall, she'll continue to provide virtual appointments for our student athletes. And she's helped us assist with obtaining syllabi schedules. And then we created a progress report system. This really builds the rapport. We kind of want to bridge that rapport for our student athletes with their professors. And so the student athletes are in charge of handing off their progress reports to their professors. And then the progress reports are submitted back to the athletes to then hand off to Jessica. So again, we know that you are all busy with not only being a student first and an athlete, and all the other things that you are managing in your lives. So we want to make sure that we have this progress report to, again, build that relationship with your professors, but also where we're able to gauge where you are within the semester, what resources or what tools we provide you to help you succeed. If you are either falling behind on work or need tutoring, these progress reports can really reflect that. The second thing we created in the spring and have improved for the fall is a student support queue. So at any point, if you're having issues, and specifically to the spring Blackboard, you're gonna go and click on these links. What they're gonna do, it's gonna take you through a questionnaire, and you're going to fill it out, and someone will respond to you within 24 hours. This has been really helpful for the spring because we were thrown right into distance learning overnight. And then for new students who are joining us this fall for college, they're going to be thrown into that environment as well overnight. So we really want to make sure that you're well supported, and that of course, you can reach out to your athletic administration, but this provides a feeder system where they'll streamline you to the correct department immediately within 24 hours. Lastly, we touched on this earlier, our Access Resource Center, ARC, formerly known as Single Stop. Again, they've provided tremendous resources and additional aid throughout this pandemic, and really have continued to kind of beef up what they offer to our students right now. And they're pretty much a liaison as well to the Career Center. So if there are things that you would like help with, or whether it's the food pantry or clothing, and you're also looking for work, as well as if you're filling out specific information due to unemployment, they are going to really help bridge that gap to the Career Center and assist you in any way possible. I'm going to hand it back to Karina. She's going to go over what they're doing at City College of New York.
Thank you, Kelly. Some of the things that we've implemented since distance learning at CCNY are listed on this slide. The first thing I want to share with you guys is our athletic office. We have started a virtual front desk, and our hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. You can find the link on this slide. As BCC, we've had to, I guess, revamp our area for academic assistance to our student athletes since we've gone remote as well. I am currently the contact for that area, and we also have online an appointment system that you can schedule for academic support. Additional support on our campus, our emergency fund grants, financial aid office has some additional support, and they are working remotely as well via a virtual front desk. CCNY continuity page will give you all the updates regarding to the coronavirus COVID and our campus, the same as the CCNY coronavirus page. Our campus counseling center has started online appointments. You can schedule those virtually by calling the number on the slide. We also have a food pantry, which was very active prior to, and now has been used a lot more. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and they're open to all CUNY students. So if you happen to reside in the area of CCNY, all you have to do is follow our page here. If you go to our ccny.cuny.edu, and they'll give you, you'll find contact down there to access our food pantry. As Kelly mentioned, we have the laptop loan process as well. You can either go through iMedia on our campus, or you can follow the CUNY process in the second slide we provided earlier. We also have a lot of electronic resources through our library, which can be accessed on our website. And lastly, we ask that you follow us on social media. So whether it be our CCNY Sports on Instagram, or CCNY SAS page, which is Student Athlete Support Services, where we post everything that's going on around campus, events, upcoming important deadlines and dates. That's some of the things those are some of the things that we're doing on campus. And as we know, things change constantly. So we will be adding new and, updated information. So check out our sites for that. Kelly?
Awesome. So on this last page, we listed out all the campus contacts and references for all the CUNY colleges, athletic administrations. Make sure you review this and you're able to connect with your AD, or for some of the schools, if you have to connect with your trainer. For Queensborough, they have a full-time trainer. So things of this nature, it's important that if you are not able to get through to a department or find something online, or even you're not able to communicate, you're not able to get through to your professor, make sure you reach out to us. We're here to support you fully throughout this time and onward, and anything that we can do to help. So all the emails and contact phone numbers are here. And thank you. We're going to answer some questions now.
Yeah, Karina, thank you for that. That was really informative. I'm taking notes here of some of the stuff that being new to the CUNY world that I wasn't aware of. So thank you for that. One of the questions we got in the chat, is there a fee on campus counseling sessions for students?
No, the services are offered at no charge, no cost to the student. Where the student would incur a fee of some sort is if they're referred out for any further services. But that would be something that they need to discuss with that, counselor prior to being referred out. But on-campus services are no cost.
Okay. Another question we have is, will there be any sports this fall, as well as the classes? Are there classes online this fall?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
No worries.
Question is, will there be any sports this fall? And as well, are classes online this fall?
Yes. So 2 questions there. The first I'll answer is the athletic sport participation question. Right now we are in the process of evaluating what we're going to be doing this fall on both the 4-year level and the 2-year level. If Karina wants to speak more on the 4-year level after I'm finished, that would be great. But on the 2-year level, we're in the process at the community college level, we're in the process of evaluating and finalizing if we're going to have a practice season. And then our competition seasons will be in the spring. But more to come on that. It's obviously a lot of rapid change and ever changing for the next couple weeks. So just be patient. Please communicate to your coaches, your assistant coaches, your head coaches, as well as to our administration if you're not certain on something, or you read an email and you're not sure on what it means, or you need clarification. In terms of online and distance learning this fall, each campus specific to the course load, it might change. For BCC, we're doing mostly all distance learning, and it is about 10%, a little less than 10%. We have about 39 courses on campus for specifically to labs and things that did not work so well in the spring remotely. If you are coming to campus, if you fall in that category, again, please communicate to your coaches and to the administration. Obviously, we have your syllabi, we know what you're enrolled in, but specific to those majors and those studies, we want to make sure we can best support you and that you're informed and of the protocols to come onto campus during this time and stay safe. Karina, if you wanted to touch more on those questions pertaining to the 4-year colleges.
Yes, so just for classes, Kelly's right, just about 94% of our classes at CCNY are remote with just the necessary labs or engineering architecture classes that may need to be on campus, about 6% or so. As it pertains to the fall sports, it was announced that we will not have fall sports this coming fall. As Kelly mentioned, we are still in discussion as to when that would happen and if the fall sports will be played at a later time. So just keep an eye out for those releases. The athletic department will post on their site. The CUNY Athletic Conference will post that information on their site and social media accounts.
So just to add to that, this is Ian. As of August 2nd, we have over 49,000 courses that are scheduled for the fall semester. So that's about 93.3% will be online for the fall. About 3.6% will be hybrid, and about 2.5% will be face-to-face. What is important for students to know, I think, for each course that you registered, there is going to be a description. So if you see the letter P next to it, it will be in person. If you see the letter H, it will be hybrid, which means a mixture of face-to-face and online. And then if you see O, it will be totally online. But as of August 2nd, over 93% of our courses will be done online. To add to the counseling part of it, all our counseling centers are open and they're providing counseling services to our students. We have a schedule when they're open. I will share that schedule with Kim and she'll share it out with the students and the athletics directors and even maybe put it up on the CUNY Athletics website. But counseling services continue to happen for all our students, and I would advise them to take advantage of it. There is no cost to it. The counseling services is covered as part of the fees that you pay, the student activity fees. So it's available to all students. Usually, I think you would have to be a student at that particular campus to request the counseling services, but for under extenuating circumstances, because of the wait list, you will more likely be referred back to your campus. But as I said, we will have that information available to you, and all the counseling centers are currently open and providing services to our students.
Great. That's very useful information. I appreciate that. So Kim, Kelly, let's look at it this way. So for a new student that would be coming to BCC, what is kind of one piece of advice in navigating the community college and then the BCC campus under these conditions?
Absolutely. I think the first step, is to get acquainted with the campus website. That is constantly being updated. And after you have, if you're making sure that you have that checklist of being set up with your email, having your campus ID and then ID code, and then also access to CUNY First. Once you have that and you've navigated through the website, for those new student athletes, most of you have already been in touch with your coaches, but I can't stress enough continuous communication weekly with your coaches, as well as the administration if you have any other questions. If your coach can't answer a question and you want to reach out to the administration, definitely refer to the reference campus contact sheet we have in this PowerPoint. Additionally, as you're reviewing your syllabi and making sure, as Ian mentioned, what is going to be for each course as you go through your first week, what is going to be asked of you? Are you going to Zoom, or are you going to be doing virtual classes every day? And how that fits into your schedule as an athlete. Now, I know there's a lot of questions in terms of the fall and your athletic participation and practice, but right now, really focus in on being, it's a student athlete. Student comes first. So we want you to be fully supported throughout this fall, and so that we can continue compliance and eligibility throughout the spring.
Thank you, Kelly. Karina, would you have anything you'd like to add on top of that from the 4-year?
I would echo what Kelly mentioned, staying connected, making sure you're acquainted with the website. Your email is very important. Having access to CUNY First is also extremely important. And as Kelly mentioned towards the end, you don't know what's going to happen on your athletic side, but making your academics the focus, I would say it's very important, and everything else will fall in line, so that we can keep your compliance and eligibility for future semesters. And that may look like, engaging and communicating with your professor so that you know what's necessary from you. getting involved in other activities on campus through student life can also help you maintain, focus and your schedule. So I would say just making academics your primary focus so that when athletics does come on board, you're ready to go.
And if I may add one more item,
Absolutely.
I think peer engagement is really important. So as a new student athlete, making sure as you're having those constant discussions with your coaches, hopping on Zoom with a second-year player, a captain, those kinds of things are going to make you more supported, feel more supported by the team, and be more supported by the team. So although things look very non-traditional right now, and we also don't have that same on-campus engagement as athletes, I think you can still partake in that and feel that by connecting, virtually. We've had a lot of cool connections with the athletes throughout the spring and able to showcase them, highlight them, have them submit snippets of them doing their, a drill at home or working out at home. But, making sure that you're connecting with your team in that way, and how we can, if you haven't met current, second year players or current players as a new student athlete, making sure that you reach out to us and how we can make that, introduction for you.
Great. That's really useful information. I appreciate that. One of the questions that we have from the viewers is if sports resume in the spring and a student athlete chooses to opt out next semester of his or her sport, how would that affect their eligibility? No, that's a heavy question, but wanted to make sure we posed it to both of you three, excuse me.
I would say we'd have to see those on a case by case, because in Division III for the 4-year schools, your semester as of right now your academic semester, your clock will still continue. So if you're enrolled full time, those semesters will still count. But you'd have to post that question with all the details so that we can determine, how it affects or impacts you specifically.
I was going to say similar, to kind of piggyback off what Karina said. It's very much specific to your, I would say, profile as an athlete. So if you transferred to your school, looking at your past grades from the other school, how much part-time and full-time academic semesters you completed, and then what your performance was in the fall. But obviously, as we mentioned throughout this presentation, we're here to support you. And I know, at BCC, we've had student athletes that have been forced to move, relocate through this pandemic, all sorts of things. So, taking the time to communicate to us as early as possible, if that's something that a life move that you're going to make, or you're going to transfer, we can sit down and work with you and go through your athletic profile, I like to say, and see where you are.
Great. Ian, would you care to elaborate on anything, or?
Sure. I would just add what my colleagues Karina and Kelly said. You keep in close contact with your athletics director of any academic changes you're experiencing. In terms of sports for the spring, I think we would have to wait and see. Usually a decision like that is made at the central office level, and it's kind of too early to say anything because we have to really look how COVID-19 continues towards the fall and where we are in the spring. So it's kind of too early to talk about the spring in terms of sports, but in terms of your academic support and any tough times you're going throughout the semester during the fall, it's very important that you keep in contact with your advisor and your campus athletics director, just to let them know where you are with things. And in that way, the earlier you let them know, I think the better they're able to provide additional support to you and for you. I wanted to piggyback on what my colleague Kelly and Karina said about always keeping up by going onto your campus webpage. As you can see, we are over 90% online, so obviously most of the information will be placed on your campus webpage that will be updated. The CUNY Central Office also has a very detailed webpage that sort of provide information about support services for our students university-wide. It's cuny.edu/coronavirus. I will also send it to Kim so she could pass it on to you guys. It has detailed information where students can find all services pertaining to counseling services, food pantries, library services, emergency grants, housing insecurity, health benefits, laptop requests. It's very detail oriented, very robust, and we have a link to each of the campuses websites, so you could go on that and find more information about your campus. And Kelly mentioned about single stop, and I'm glad she brought it up because you may have heard in the grapevine that the university no longer has a relationship with single stop. What I want to reiterate, the single stop name is not there. However, all the services still remain. So if you're any of the community colleges, and I know at John Jay we have it, the services are still there, even though we no longer have a relationship with single stop. And for the other senior colleges, some of the services are still provided. It's just that some of these campuses, they come up with very unique name for the support services, and some of them are very innovative. So I just wanted to know the relationship with single stop has ended. However, the services are still in place.
Great, thank you. So I wanted to take a quick moment and kind of wrap up different things. Would any of our panelists like to offer any thoughts to our student athletes?
Yes. I think kind of reviewing the presentation and the underlining themes here, we want to make sure that you guys know that we're here to support you. And I know it's a very, for many of us, we're facing different challenges right now with COVID-19. So knowing that we're here for you to reach out, or if there's something we didn't cover today that you have a question about, make sure you review the campus contact page and reach out to your athletic department.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, I would echo Kelly's final thoughts there, and I would say just reach out early. It's never too early. Don't wait till it's the day of the exam, or don't wait till your midterm. Reach out to us, and like I said, engage with your professors early enough so that you're ahead of the game.
Yes, best advice I could give you as a student. We have all been in that student as well, and you reach out. I know for some of us, it's kind of hard when you really need help, because you feel like, should you confide in someone? Will there be confidentiality? One of the things, I've been at the university for 17 years, and what I appreciate about our professionalism is that when you're told by a staff member to reach out to me, I'm here to help you, believe them. I think that is strong advice. They are really there to help you, so don't feel ashamed to reach out. You don't have to worry about confidentiality. If you're concerned, then you probably could even seek advice from some of your friends who have sought these services. And the whole reason why we have these services, we have them available so that you could use them. And we know these are difficult days, and it's very stressful, and it's not easy to do academic work with all what's going on in your environment and what's happening now in the world. But as I said, we have counseling services available. We have your athletics directors who are there for you, and whenever they reach out, they're reaching out because they really care about your work, your well-being, and you being successful. So please take it at heart when Karina and Kelly say that reach out to them. Believe you me, they're there to support you, and I think you should take that advice at heart.
Great. First of all, so I want to thank all of our panelists and for all the support that you give our student athletes on your respective individual campuses as well. I want to remind our viewers that they can see this info on our wrap-up posted tomorrow, as well as a replay of the video on YouTube. So there's a lot of good information that you can use these webinars as a resource to check back in. So that concludes our Talk About It Tuesday on-campus support webinar. I want to thank our sponsors, Hospital for Special Surgery and Health First, and take care of each other.